Hi everyone, my name is Celeste. Welcome and thank you for being here. Today's class is going to be focused on our core. Now, before we begin, I would like to very briefly explain why we're doing what we're doing. So if you don't fancy listening to me chatting about the core, then please feel free to skip me all the way up to this minute and go ahead and start with the class. Right, so first, let's take a look at the core muscles. So as you can see, there is a bunch of muscles. It's not just this six-pack here that we try to do a lot, doing abs all the time. As you can see, your core is more than one thing. And I wanted to show you this picture because I would like you to start thinking about your core as a 360 situation rather than this just front muscle here. And you can see that the core is particularly surrounding a lot of things. So, for example, your core is around your organs, right? And your organs, as living organisms, they also move. They are also kind of like wiggling inside of you in order to, work as they should. And I also want you to take a look at another muscle here that is very, very important. That is your diaphragm. And why am I pointing out this muscle particular? It's because it is very, very, very important in your breathing system. So imagine we would have the core engage Johnny Bravo style all the time. Suck the tummy in, navel to spine, chest up, and we would be walking and doing everything in our lives with our core extra engaged. Let's just for one moment think about all the other things that it can be complicating, right? To have the core engaged all the time. So as I said before, your organs are living organisms. They need to wiggle around. And if we would keep the core engaged all the time, it's like your organs would be all squeezed inside your core for a long time, from a prolonged time. It's not like we just engage the core in order to accomplish a movement. We are like perhaps engaging it all the time. But as well, think about what happens with your breathing, right? So if we have the core engaged all the time, the diaphragm is going to be very restricted, right? Every time we inhale, the diaphragm goes down, and when we exhale, the diaphragm goes up. It has this motion, this flow motion. And if we have the core engaged all the time, your diaphragm is not going to be able to go down as it should. Therefore, your respiratory system is also going to suffer the consequences of an unnecessary engaged core. And so to sum up, in order for the core to be healthy and strong, it needs to have the ability to flow and to expand when it's needed and contract when it's needed in order for all your organs to wiggle naturally inside of you, for your respiratory system to flow, for the air to come in and out and expand inside of you. And so I really, really encourage you to let loose of your core and don't try to be all the time suck tummy in, because it is really not very helpful for either your respiratory system or the strength and vitality of your core muscles. All right, so without talking any longer, let's get to the class. I invite you to bring any props if you have with you, perhaps blocks. We are maybe going to use a resistant band. If you have a loop resistant band like this one, bring it to you. If you have the other ones, the stretchy bands, also bring them to you. The lightest one you have. If you don't have either, you can use nothing, or if not, perhaps you can use a pair of leggings, because this might help as well. They are stretchy enough. So whatever you need for today, just bring everything to you, and we are gonna start in a narrow leg child's pose. So make your way there. Amazing. So you could take your hands towards the front, or you can keep your hands beside you and drop your head. If your head doesn't reach the mat, remember that you can always use a block, perhaps a cushion, on any height that you feel comfortable. And we are gonna just take these moments to arrive into our space. And I want you to really take your attention to your breath without judging or changing anything, just noticing the way it flows in and out of your body. Perhaps you feel the air cool when it comes in and warm as we exhale. And I want you to visualize this 360 muscle situation going on your core. And I want you to, every time you inhale, really relax your belly and let the air in. Perhaps your back muscles are going to open more because we are pressing our tummy against our legs. So also perceive how different the breath flows depending on the position of the body. But again, keep a soft, long inhale and exhale through the nose. Perceive the changes in the body every time you inhale and exhale. We inhale and everything relaxes in order for the air to flow in. And when we exhale, there's a slight contraction in order to allow the air to flow out. Amazing, wherever you are. Roll the spine vertebra per vertebra all the way to seated. Open your eyes if your eyes were closed. And we are going to take our arms in front of us and we're going to just flick a little bit of water to warm up the wrists. And in the meantime, we're going to create circles with the arms as we flick the water off our fingers. Doesn't necessarily need to be like super wide circles, just to mobilize the joints and to add a little bit of coordination to the movement. Amazing. Take your arms in front. Place your palms, like you were saying, stop in front of you. And from here, we are going to fold. So extend the wrists, flex them. Actually flex them and extend them the other way around. Like I haven't learned the movements yet. And then to the sides. So we take the fingers towards the outside like a little butterfly and we extend and flex the wrist and down. Amazing. Shake the arms. Great. All right, now lift your hips up. Come to a kneeling position and then place your right leg in front of you like a little low lunge. And we are going to give a little bit of sensory information to our feet and our ankles. So we're going to rub our feet and ankles. So we rub the ankle and the feet, the toes. Perhaps we tilt it to the sides. Great. Now lift the torso up. Bring the right knee back and take the the left knee front. The left leg to the front. To this lunge. And then again, we rub the foot. And as you rub, ask yourself, do I feel this? Can I feel my hands against the foot? Great. Once you finish it, take this left leg back and we come to a tabletop. We are going to inhale and lift the chest, tailbone out and exhale and round the spine, drop the tailbone. Inhale and lift the chest, exhale and round the spine. One more time, inhale and exhale, round the spine. Amazing. Come to a tabletop. Remember, wrists under shoulders, knees under wrist. Spine is nice and long. And now from here, we are gonna tuck under the back toes and very, very little hover the knees off the mat, like half an inch. And I want you to perceive your breath in here. And again, this is a pose that requires your core to be active, but Remember what I said before, in order for your core to be strong, it needs to be able to flow. The breath should flow naturally. So we're gonna inhale and try to keep the engagement, but release the muscles and let the air flow in, and exhale. And we contract slightly and the air flows out. 2 more breaths like that. Inhale. Exhale, and then we rest the knees on the mat. Take your heels back, your hips back to a semi-child pose. And then we bring it back. And again, we are going to hover the knees. Now we're going to lift. We're going to alternate some lifting the foot. But remember, the idea here is mainly for you to focus on the core being active, right? Letting it loose, relax it for the air to flow in. But it doesn't mean that you're going to arch your spine, okay? Your muscles are going to keep you there. There has to be a slight engagement, but you also need the core to flow naturally. So we're going to tuck under the back toes, hover the knees, half an inch. Keep the breath, engage the glutes, and from here we're going to lift, take the weight towards your left, and hover the right foot off the mat. Place it back, hover the left. Place it back, over the right. Place it back, left. Amazing. Come back to center, still hover the knees. And exhale, drop the knees, take it to a child's pose. We are adding a little bit more intensity on each step. Great, now we come back to tabletop. And now we're gonna hover the knees off. And we are gonna step both feet back to a plank. Inhale. Remember to have the glutes engaged. Your arms are super strong, pushing away through your hands, but the breath. Remember to keep the fluid motion of your core, head, perhaps do a little bit of a double chin. Bring your knees back to hover. Step it back to a plank. Bring it back to hover. Step it back to a plank. Come on, we got this. Nothing is moving on my upper body. It's just my legs. Come on, you got this. A little bit more. And then we get to plank. One inhale. And exhale, down dog. Woo, I bet your shoulders are working as well. We're going to bounce the hips a little bit. Perhaps you can widen the stance of your feet and do a little bounce on the hips. Perhaps you want to do some pedaling, anything that you need in your first down dog. Nice, team, you're doing amazing. All right, now we come to find stillness. From here, we are just gonna lift the heels up on an inhale and then turn your heels towards the right. Don't bend the knees. And then inhale back to center and then to left. Don't bend the knees. Well, you can have them a little bit bent if you want, of course. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. And you can take a look at your feet and see how they roll over the ball of both feet. Amazing. Come back to center. Inhale here. Exhale and we wave it back to a plank. From the plank, we're going to have our feet a little bit wider than hip width. And we're going to do the same. So take your heels to the right. Back to center. To the left. Back to center. Perhaps you can touch both heels on the floor. Perhaps no. Back to center. Remember to keep the torso stable. Core is engaged but fluid air coming in and out. Amazing. And then downward facing dog. Drop your knees down to the mat. Sit back on your heels and on an inhale, we bring both hands behind us. Engage slightly the glutes and open through the chest. Look up. Your shoulders are going backwards. Shoulder blades almost touching each other. Open the chest. You perhaps want to let your head back. Coming back to center. Awesome, you're doing great. Okay, place your hands near the top of the mat. Tuck under the back toes. And then from here, we're gonna inhale and wave it back to a plank. Widen your stance a little bit again. And now we're gonna take the heels towards the right and then drop that hip all the way down to the mat. And then we're gonna need to be strong through the legs and the hips to bring it back to plank. Then take both your heels towards the left and drop your hips. Your shoulder is kind of gonna shrug a little bit. And then strong, lift it up. And then to the other side, drop the hips. And then up to plank. And exhale to the right. And back to plank. Inhale here. Exhale, drop your knees, bend the elbow, drop it all the way down to the mat and tuck your toes. Press against the mat and inhale, lift the chest, shoulder blades close to each other, down the spine. Inhale here, exhale, tuck under the toes, push it back to a child's pose and lift your hips up for a downward facing dog. Amazing, well done. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, roll the spine and wave it to a plank. And now we're gonna try to match the points. And it will go like this. So we're gonna take the heels towards the right. We're gonna drop the right hip towards the mat. The feet are gonna roll towards the back. And then we're gonna inhale and lift the chest for a up dog. The heels are gonna go to the right, and then our hips are gonna go up to a down dog. Now, I know it's a little bit tricky. Perhaps I can do it, let's see, diagonally so you can see. I hope you can see. Let's go closer here. And so we're gonna go to plank. Heels to one side, drop the hips. The arms stay strong. The hips are gonna roll to an up dog. So now your feet are on the back of the feet, the front of the feet. And then we're gonna roll the heels towards the left and lift the hip up for a down dog. Whew. I know it's tricky, I know it's hard, but let's give it a go. So we go to a plank, a little bit wider than hip width, the legs. Drop your heels towards the right, drop your hip, and then wiggle your hip to an up dog. Strong through the arms, then take your heels towards the left and lift the hips up for a down dog. You are so awesome, you're doing great. Wave your spine to a plank, and now we go to the other side. Remember to keep the breath smooth, and then take your heels towards the left. Drop your left hip down, and then roll over the top of your feet to a up dog. Inhale, lift the chest. Remember to keep the glutes engaged. Roll your heels towards the right and push the hips up for a downward facing dog. You are doing so good, team. Inhale and drop your knees to the floor. Exhale and tuck the toes and child's pose for a little rest. Now inhale and tuck under the toes. The hands are near the top of the mat and lift your heels up. Now we are gonna sweep the left leg up, bend the knee, and we are gonna first do some circles. But the idea is that we're gonna open the knee out, take it to the left elbow, and then bring it back. Open to the side, take it to the left elbow, and back. One more time, and back. Awesome, now place this left foot down and we change. Sweep the right leg up, bend the knee, and then open the knee to the side, and as you create this circle, you bring the knee to the right elbow, knee back, open to the side, touch the elbow, and back. One last circle, and back, release the foot. Perhaps bend your knees and take a look towards the screen now. Take a look at me for a second. We're gonna do the same, but now instead of making circles, we are gonna create figure of eights. So the idea is that we're gonna create with our knees a figure of eight. So I am gonna show it kind of, again, diagonally. Perhaps you can see it. Trying to think, maybe like this. A ver. So we're gonna lift the leg and bend the knee. And first we're gonna open to the side. And then whenever we are close to taking the weight to our hands, we're gonna take the knee across. And then we're gonna open the knee. And then at the back, we are gonna cross it and open it. So it's like a little bit of a tango sassy move. Open. See how I cross. Open. When the left foot crosses the right knee, we take it to the outside and open. Now, this is very challenging again, so please be very mindful and just have fun. Nothing is wrong if it doesn't work, if it's not a perfect figure. Let's give it a try. So we're gonna go to a down dog. We're gonna start with the right, so sweep the right leg up, bend the right knee, and we first open it to the side. Take the weight towards your hands, cross the knee to the left, cross the knee to the right, keep it back, cross it towards the left, and open it. And again, cross to the left, take to the right, cross to the left, open to the right. One more time. Perhaps one more time. Amazing. Lift the right leg up for a three-legged dog and release the leg. Bounce them hips a bit. And let's start with the other one. Inhale and sweep the left leg up. Bend the knee. And again, open to the side. Take the weight to your hands. Cross to the left, to the right arm. Open to the left. Cross to the right. Open to the left and cross. Right, left. Right at the back, left. Again. Come on, we've got one more of these. Woohoo, remember to keep breathing. And three-legged dog. Release. Amazing, team. You did awesome. Inhale here. Exhale and wave it back to a plank. Inhale. Exhale, drop the knees. Bend the elbows all the way down to the mat. Awesome. Now it's time to chill a bit. So we're gonna place our elbows under our shoulders and we're gonna engage the glutes and lift the torso up. Hands facing towards the front, parallel to each other. We press slightly against the floor. Engage the glutes. And open through the chest, shoulders go down. And let's from here just look towards the right and the left. Right, left, perhaps some half neck rolls. One or two. And then we come to find stillness. From here, we're gonna drop the head. If you have a block, perhaps bring a block with you and we're gonna drop the head. Remember to keep the engagement on the glutes. It's very important for back bends. Let's do 2 releasing breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, side it out. One more nose. Side it out. Lift the head. Remove the block. Drop your torso down. Take your hands under your shoulders, tuck under your toes, and push yourself back to a wide-legged child's pose. Again, as usual, if you want to use a block. And for this particular time, I will invite you to use the resistance band. So I would like you to wrap it around, we're going to wrap it around the more or less at the height of the navel of your belly button, kind of like covering it. So you're gonna have to make a knot. Just don't press too much, right? It's just to keep it there. And the idea is that the resistance band is going to give us information about this 360 situation. And now we're going to go into a child's pose. Let's do it, actually. If you're all propped up, walk your hands towards the front, drop your head. And I want you to use the information of the resistance band for you to really inhale and try to push against all the parts where the resistance band is offering resistance. And then exhale, in and out through the nose. Remember, on an inhale, it grows. It expands. You have to feel the resistance band growing towards all directions. And exhale, it shrinks. Slight contraction to let the air out. Let's do 2 of these breaths on your own. If your eyes were closed, keep them closed. If not, I invite you to close your eyes, and then we're gonna walk our hands back. We're gonna sit back on our heels. And again, we use the information of the resistance band. Stand nice and tall and inhale. Push against the band and exhale. We release and there's a contraction. Inhale, exhale, one more breath. Now we place one hand on top of each other at the heart center. Inhale, and as you press against the band, you also press against your hands. Chest also fills up with air, and exhale. One more. Exhale. Amazing. Take the band off. Wherever you are, find a comfortable seated position. Again, if you would like to stay for longer in your practice and you prefer taking a Shavasana now, I invite you to do so. You could even leave the resistance band if you wanted to feel what it feels like when you're laying down in a Shavasana. For those ready to move on, I invite you to use this time for appreciation, to thank yourself for all the hard job that you just did in a class, even if you managed to only do one child's pose. Being present and gifting yourself with this time is the best you can do for yourself. We're going to finish this class with a big releasing breath. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out. Palms together. All right. Great team. Well done. Well, I don't know about you, but my core is feeling very active. Perhaps you feel that unlike other core workouts, you're like, I don't really feel my core like if I would have done 1,000 million abs. Yes, that is true. But because we work, again, the core through a different lens, rather than just like pushing, it's more creating healthy, fluid movement within your core muscles. So yeah, if you like it, please hit like and subscribe for more weekly content. I would love to know how it goes. What do you feel? What do you think about this core workout? So please leave a comment. I love to read you and answer. And yes, I hope to see you on the mat very soon. Bye bye.